What's going on, family? Welcome back to the FTB Reaction channel. Now, we just got done doing a video of NHL's hardest hits of all time. I'll tag that video at the end of this video. Today, you guys are telling me I need to check out the unwritten rules of fighting and retribution in the ice hockey. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Come on.
The code. The sport of ice hockey is the only sport on the planet that tolerates fighting.
That's crazy right there.
Even though their rules prohibit doing so. Referees will penalize players for breaking the rules, but sometimes the players take matters into their own hands. There are unwritten rules that govern how players should behave that you won't find in any rulebook. And there are even specific players on hockey teams whose sole job it is to police the game accordingly. These are the enforcers, otherwise known as goons, tough guys, fighters, or cops. And whilst it's their sole job to police the game, the code applies to every player on the ice. These unwritten rules are based on mutual respect for your opponents and protecting your teammates. This is the code. The first rule of the code is that they do not talk about the code. Whilst these rules exist amongst players, there is no official record of the rules of the code, except for this video. And you won't find these in any official rulebook.
Right.
The NHL, or International Ice Hockey Federation, will always officially decline to comment about any code. This is because they don't want to officially admit that the sport that they govern isn't completely under their control. The players police the game as much as the referees do, and sometimes they police it a little too much. Rule number 2, if you do something bad, expect to pay the price. Let's say that you spitefully whack your opponent with a stick, and for some reason, the referees and linesmen completely missed it. No penalty is called against you, and you seemingly get away with it. I guarantee that the other team saw it, and they'll be gunning for you to avenge your crimes. There is now a giant
they tell me
with members of the opposing team
that hockey's like just a backyard barbecue on ice, bro. Unwritten rules. Like, from what I'm seeing so far though, it's just you gotta just throw your hands. There ain't no extra stuff, obviously no kicks you get the blades on, but no eye gouging, no elbows, no UFC stuff going on. But grab a jersey, throw some hands, and get into it. Okay, so far so good.
Either one way or another. And if you manage to avoid punishment until the end of the game, just wait until you play them again. I guarantee they won't have forgotten. Your crime is not transient, and they won't stop headhunting you until you have paid the price. Rule number 3, you do not target stars. The best players on most teams are the star players that score goals and assists. There is an unwritten gentleman's agreement that stipulates that if you don't hit our star players, we won't hit yours. Let the stars score the goals and let everyone else do their respective jobs. Should you unfairly target a star player, expect swift retribution as per rule number 2. Rule number 4, ignore rule 3 if that star breaks rule 2. Sidney Crosby, a generational player that can score goals at will and will one day be enshrined into the Hockey Hall of Fame. A talent so immense that he doesn't need to dive, take cheap shots, or hit anybody when they're down. But he does it anyway. This is totally unacceptable. Once you're a star player that resorts to these tactics, rule number 3 no longer applies.
Alright, so basically, long story short, bro, whether you're a star player or not, if you do some low underground stuff behind the scenes, it's going to catch up to you. Maybe not this game, but probably in the next game or the next game. But at the end of the day, man, play as fair as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying? But I guess when tempers flare, players, do some crazy stuff out there, and it happens. I get it.
You'll have a bullseye on your back just like everyone else.
Damn, you're not
Rule number 5, no sucker punches.
Yeah.
There is a proper decorum.
That is true. I haven't seen nobody throw no sucker punches.
However,
in any highlights,
i.e. punching them when they're down or not looking, is an unacceptable way of doing so. This is cowardly, and blindsiding someone like this will result in the opposing team taking note. Expect swift retribution as per rule number 2. Lots of it. Rule number 6. Pick on...
Bro, I can tell, like, rivalries can get kind of crazy. Like, I can already tell rivalries probably last decades, bro. Come on.
Your own size.
Because this right here.
Bigger. Unless they instigate it, it is not acceptable to pick on someone who is significantly smaller than you, especially if they're skilled players that do not fight. The rule is simple. Pick on someone the same size or bigger. Constantly picking on a smaller opponent will result in someone significantly bigger coming after you. Rule number 7. Verbally or physically agree. To challenge someone to a fight, it's important to stand square onto your opponent. Gesture with the hands, the helmet, or start shaking off your gloves. Dropping the stick is a clear indication that you want to throw down.
Damn.
It's fair to bait them physically or verbally, but if you're wearing a cage or full visor, it's proper etiquette to remove that prior to fighting your opponent.
What in the world?
Fighting with a half visor may be morally acceptable in some, but
Bro,
not all, leagues.
Damn.
Rule number 8. Don't back down. When challenged to a fight, especially if you have been guilty of a crime committed on the ice, it is seen as cowardly if you do not accept the challenge. Backing down is not cool. You will not receive any brownie points with your teammates and expect some form of retribution sometime during the game.
AKA, don't be a hoe, all right? If you talking trash and he pull up on you, listen, man, you got to finish that, or at least get into that. Win, lose, or draw, you got to get into that. Pause, come on.
Not. Rule number 9. You do not turtle. Once you have engaged in a fight, it is not acceptable to turtle, i.e. curl up in a ball to avoid punches. This is seen as cowardly. You have accepted the challenge to fight, and fight you must.
Damn. Y'all some backyard beer drinking ass, just throwing hands on the ice. Y'all probably be drunk as hell playing hockey for real.
You have accepted the challenge to fight.
Coors Light.
And fight you must.
On the bench.
Rule number 10. It is acceptable to premeditate fights. It is deemed courteous to politely ask a player if he wants to fight. Exhibit A, Georges Larac.
You want to? Okay. Square up. Okay, good luck, man.
He said good luck?
This is the
you gotta show that
way
fight,
of
though.
instigating a fight.
Okay, I appreciate
and a
that.
fine example
You gotta
of
show
good
this.
code etiquette.
Show the whole thing.
If a premeditated challenge
on,
is accepted, the gloves must come
That's
off and
crazy.
helmet visors removed before you fight. Respected enforcers will actually remove their helmets completely and roll up their sleeves. This is to protect their opponent's hands as well as their own.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't be punching the helmet. Plastic, reinforced plastic at that. Break your finger, break your bones in your hand, break your wrist. So that's fair. Listen, so far it kind of reminds me of like an honorable old school fight. You know what I'm saying? It got some rules, but it's basically no rules when it really boils down to it. Come on.
This is to protect their opponent's hands as well as their own.
I saw them punching helmets earlier. I'm like, ain't no way.
Rule number 11. You do not punch someone lying down. Once the fight has reached the ground and one or both combatants have hit the ice, you must stop immediately.
That's a wrap.
They are in a defenseless position. It is dishonorable to hit someone when they're down, especially if they can't defend themselves.
So if you lose the fight, you go back to the bench with your head down kind of thing? Bro, that's wild, bro. Your teammates making fun of you and all kind of stuff. Come on.
When they're down, especially if they can't defend themselves.
Damn.
The punishment and retaliation for breaking this rule is severe. Rule number 12. You do not fight goalies unless you are a goalie or they instigate it. Goalies, like stars, have a job to do.
Right.
And it doesn't involve fighting.
Probably the hardest job to do for real. You gotta defend pucks this size coming 100 miles per hour on all different kind of angles, and you gotta block, catch, or defend or reflect. That probably is the hard. Outside of being the primary scorer, the goalie is probably the number one hardest job in the game, bro. You know what I'm saying? After you watch a hockey game, the goalie is the number one person just sweating on the ice. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back into it.
Goalies, like stars, have a job to do. And it doesn't involve fighting.
It looks like it's heavy too. All
Unless
that
they challenge you, and it's obvious that they're doing so,
look at that pad he gotta
leave
wear,
them
bro.
well alone.
You gotta carry that.
That said,
Come here.
it is
Come here.
acceptable for both goalies to fight each other, even if no incident has happened between them. Rule number 13.
He came back.
Brawling is fair game. It is perfectly acceptable to retaliate to multiple infractions made by both sides.
Deadass?
If every player steps in at once, it's fair game to challenge someone completely unrelated to the original altercation and fight with them.
Hockey.
This is to prevent the opposing player from applying damage to your teammates and to temporarily eliminate them from the game by getting them and yourself sent to the penalty box. Rule number 14. Be wary of pests. A pest is a player whose sole job it is to antagonize and annoy you and your teammates in order to draw penalties.
Kind of like a Draymond Green, huh?
To antagonize and annoy you and your teammates in order to draw penalties. They will resort to anything from verbal abuse to underhand tactics to licking your face. They will most likely
we
challenge
gotta
you
fight
to a
now.
fight
That's
and then
automatic.
proceed to run away.
That's
leaving you
automatic.
with an instigator penalty. Be cautious when you challenge them to a fight, because that's exactly what they want you to do. Rule number 15. The golden rule.
15 rules.
You stand up for your teammates, whether it's
That's
your
the
job
one. That's
or
the
not.
one.
Whether you're in
That's probably the number one rule that I saw implemented in the whole greatest hits reaction, y'all. Like if a dude got hit crazy hard, all you saw was gloves in the air, helmets coming off, and his teammates pulling up on you, bro. On every replay. That was kind of fire. Let's keep it going.
stand up for your teammates, whether it's your job or not. Whether you're an enforcer or not, if you are on the ice and foul play happens, you are expected to stand up for your teammates, regardless of size, weight, or star power. These players will stand up for you through thick and through thin, and it is seen as cowardly to not return the favor.
Come here.
Teammates will notice if you don't have their back.
My man
so
came
be wary because
all the way
one day
across the ice.
it might be you that needs the help.
Damn.
The most interesting thing is that the code is open to interpretation. No two players have the exact same interpretation.
He hemming you up
of the
against the.
code.
Look at the fans.
But in general, these are the rules that
Fans
ice hockey
loving
players
it,
live
bro.
and die by, even if they're not written down. When regular rules aren't enforced properly, the code dictates how justice is
The
served.
fans loving it, bro.
In conclusion, there are some amazingly talented players in the sport of ice hockey, and there are people whose job it is to protect them. These men and women have given up being stars themselves, taken lower paychecks, significantly shortened their own careers, and risked their lives and future health, all to protect their teammates when the rules of the game fail to do so. These are noble warriors who will fight with honor and within the unwritten rules of the game. They deserve our absolute respect because they are the enforcers.
That was a dope video on the breakdown of the unwritten code. You guys definitely saw that already being implemented in the hardest hits video. Got some questions, bro. First of all, is there a female NHL hockey league? One, that would be crazy. All right, see some chicks fight each other. Two, can the bench come out the bench? Say if there's a brawl going on, can the bench come out the bench and join the brawl? 2, 3, how long are the penalties? Say if a fight goes on, whatever. What's the penalty for that, man? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes? You guys let me know down in the comment section. And until next time, if you have anything else sports related you want me to react to or check out, comment down below. Until next time, y'all be safe out there. Peace.